Someone check the elders.
I left the phone in the car.
You good?
I'm good.
All right.
The Chicago is live and
Check the elders.
That is mine.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's not.
it popped up twice. That's yours, Paul.
I don't know how that happened. Let me.
Yeah, the elders up.
Okay, come hold on.
perfect.
No, I want that.
I didn't want to screw nothing up.
I got it.
Y'all be throwing me outside.
You've been banished to the nether.
And the bandits to the never read.
There you go, brother.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom. We are brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rekakwadash.
double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that's doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever, the would-be judges, the tabernacle of David, who has been set up by who the world fraudulently and falsely called JC, right, to be the new government over all people here on earth. Heaven will be here on earth, not floating around in the clouds somewhere. All right? And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black thing. That's a false narrative that Esau, Edom, and even some unlearned Israelites tried to push. Right? And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. And we're going in on the lineage of evil and how the hateful spewing on their glory is so hurtful. It's so much exposure. The whole world is coming against them, literally. So it's funny because even, you know, if they manage to get complete lockdown on all American outlets, the rest of the world is still going to be bombarding and spilling the beans on it. You know, the whole world is coming against them. And then I watched some story with some Moabite dude giving a whole breakdown of their religion. You know, the Ishism, that they believe that by making the world hate them and come against them, which is completely contrary to the Bible. All right, because another thing about the Israelites, they would have no power, they would have no support, they would have no voice. All right, they would have no military, none of that. All right, so these people don't fit the bill. So they're going by a whole nother book, a whole nother belief system. Okay?
The scriptures say basically Israel become not a people. Literally.
That's right.
Who else can say that? Who else can say that they lost their heritage completely?
Exactly.
Right?
They're the hidden ones.
Yep.
All right? They're the hidden ones. They're not going to be acknowledged as being the people until the Lord literally comes back. Because it says in a place where it was said, somebody...
I was on my way to get it right now.
Look,
I got you.
because they're not going to be acknowledged until the return of the Lord, man. All right? And then the they even despise your JC. All they do is talk, even in their writings, they say horrible things about him and his mother. So the support of them is racial. You know, and then how, and I was watching, what's his name? Now I can't think of his name. Talk about how he was offended that he was being referred to as white. And then the Edomite that was interviewing him was like, well, you look just like me. I don't understand. Well, yeah.
Wow.
And there's no. You know, first of all, neither of you are white. You're both red. The Bible describes you as being red. And red has to do what? Red has to do with blood. It has to. Matter of fact, in America, red is synonymous with stop. You know, so which is a bad thing. All right, the warning sign is red.
Crimson and criminal.
So there it is, man.
When they say, all my sins be as crimson.
That's right.
And,
The white as snow.
and just to make everything very crystal clear, Japhet was a melanated brown complexion of people, swarthy people. There is not two sets of white people. You don't have white Ashkenazi and then white Shemites.
Never.
Because the truth of the matter is, those people that are those name stealers, as the Moabites, as the Chinese call them, those name stealers. Somebody can pull that up too. Those name stealers who claim to be the people of the Lord, they are Semites, or they are Shemites, because there's really no such thing as Shem. I mean, it's Sem, Salaki. There's no such thing as Sem. That's another word that they made up. So they use the word Sem to hijack and replace Israelites, and they use the word, that J-ish word, to hijack and replace the word Israel or Israelites. Go ahead, brother.
This is Hosea 1:9. Then said the Most High, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
So like, which means what? We lost our heritage, because Yasharala means he, prince of power, basically sons of God. So if the Lord is saying, I'm a Yah, not my people, that means we lost the title Yasharala.
That's it.
We became Gentiles, which simply means nations. We became like everybody else, just another part of the nations.
And that goes to Psalms 82, and when it says, and 6, he said, I have said ye are gods, and all ye are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men
There it is.
and fall like one of the princes. So the Lord stripped us of our power. He says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured, nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
So the place where we got our heritage beat out of us, and not, when I say us, I don't mean just niggas.
Right.
Motherfuckers, see the Latin community so fucking warped and mad, they think they Spaniards. Like you forgot the Spaniards came, put both their feet up your ass like a drop kick.
Yes.
All right, forced Spanish upon you,
Yes.
took away your heritage, just like the British came, took us.
They raped your women.
Yep.
And they had a whole system of lightening you up,
Yep.
taking away your brown complexion.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And then same thing with niggas. The Brits came, took us, brought us over here, beat our heritage out of us, taught us English. Same thing, different language. In Haiti, it was French. All right. It's all the same. All right. It's all the fucking same. We lost our heritage, man. But now we saying now it's being told we are the sons of God. That didn't happen to the Jewish. They supposedly was attacked for being Jewish, knowing their heritage, and then got land off of fucking the side of a pin. Scriptures don't say neither of those things. All right, and also when did let's say that event happened like they said it happened. When did they get oppressed with the other 9 tribes, man?
Exactly.
What was the other 9 tribes at in the fucking furnaces, man?
And let's say J.
Turned to
Let's say,
motherfucking gingerbread snap, man.
let's say J-ish, brother.
What did I say?
No, don't worry about it. Just say J-ish. Bible shot.
I got such boldness, bro. Salaki, I'm gonna try.
Gingerbread man.
Stay on Drake Lane. What was the other 9 tribes being turned to fucking gingerbread man? It didn't happen, man. The prophet said we were pressed together in Babylon. All right? And Revelation tells us Babylon is the place called spiritual Egypt. So what we got taken to on slave ships.
That's right, brother.
That's that, man. Y'all niggas are fraudulent, man.
That's right, brother.
Bastards.
You know what? Hey, somebody turn the air on. We can close that door. We can put the air on. We got extra brothers today. This is Hosea 7:8. Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
Yeah, you fucking Northern Kingdom, you Latinos, man, y'all love Esau. And said they sang children to the murderer. And what does that mean? Y'all think it's a prize for especially the women, but the men too, to lay with these damn Edomites and lighten up the fucking generations.
Well,
man.
they fell for the okie doke. Like I said, there was a whole system that they put in place. It had a couple different names depending on.
Yeah, blanqueamiento.
Yeah, there you go.
Whitening.
The lightening of the race. So it was a whole system where they were bringing in Spaniards and European men to lie with Israelite women to continue, because there's a picture of a old, dark ass chocolate grandma, all happy that her grandbaby was light, because her daughter was a little bit lighter than her, still brown, but then the baby was looking like an Edomite, and that's what she wanted. She smiled. So, because what's that saying that the Israelites said, that the better the race?
Yeah, all Latinos say it, but yeah. Mejor la raza, it's better the race.
Right, so better the race. Right. So that's why. So that's you also because you hear George Lopez tell his people, no, don't let your daughters lie with black men, but let them lie. Why? To better the race. Let them lie with white men.
Yeah, and they
destroy the race, stupid.
Well, that same Christendom of Catholicism and Christianity is what has them eating food like dogs in ice centers. So whatever, man. This is who they want to follow. This is what they're gonna have to cover it, man. That's why he's shaming y'all. And basically, this is what happened to you. This separation of family is based on Christianity and Catholicism, all right?
Yeah.
So you can thank the white man. That's why. Because you have him as a god. This is the power that he has over you, man.
and that's even exhibited today, even on their own TV networks and whatnot. That like Telemundos and stuff like that. They push the light skin. They don't even want to deal with the dark.
Yeah, you rarely see anyone dark, Northern Kingdom on those shows, and if they do, they just in the background. Or they have a very low position in the show.
Well, they show you the same thing that happens here in America with the casting couch happens in Mexico, and they basically have a catalog. So everything that is done here, the executives took that and went down and did it in Mexico. And since though they're the same people in Dominion, except going by so-called Mexicans, right, or so-called, those are still the descendants, like the Bill says, of them Spaniards.
Ain't the bitch, the president bitch, the J-ish?
Yes.
They got, and them Mexicans love that bitch.
Yep.
Y'all gotta, man.
I got a precept.
Bring it out,
It's
brother.
Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat
And Esau
and went his way.
So like Esau did this across the globe, and they actually Esau themselves recorded, and you can see the history. They did it with the Aboriginals.
That's it.
The Aborigines, like they did it with the Aborigines, man. This was intentional of them going and I hate saying whitening, but for lack of a better phrase, whitening their race up, man. They do this even today. They got a modern term for it. They talk about squirrel babies. All right, Esau pushes that shit, man.
Yeah, he did it in Australia big time. That's what he was speaking about, the Aborigines.
In Japan, they have
Who are actually Japhetic people.
Yeah.
Oh, those are real Japhites, all
Trying to
right?
receive the owls.
Those were some of your picks, and right, exactly. And he did horrible things to those people. All right, he really did. And that whole he lightened them up and raped them and took their children from them and put them in schools and did and that's what he did, trying to make exotic and then they would have the whorehouses and things like that because they really love the light-skinned Negro women, and the light-skinned heathen women that still have the features of the ethnic people but have the lighter skin. That was very favorable. There was a movie that came out some years ago with James Earl Jones called Feast of the Saints.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was a pretty good movie, man. It's a hard movie to watch because everything we're talking about is displayed there, and how they purposely would take that yellow Negro woman, that big booty, big titty, yellow light skinned Negro woman, and they were the main ones they put in the whorehouses because all the slave owners and the travelers, that's what they used to use to entertain the traveling businessmen. All right.
They call it passe.
And they were all Christians, by the way.
Right.
These were all Christian men and Christian people that did this. Hey, shalom, bro.
Showed you that in there's a quick scene in I don't know if you ever seen it. It's called Taboo. It's with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And there's a quick scene in it, and he's dealing with like basically what do you call those, like the mistress of the house.
Yeah.
And she actually had a daughter that was like so-called mixed, right? And the daughter was of age, and he basically made a point saying, I forgot exactly what was going on in the scene, but he mentioned like, why isn't she, out, out there with you? Because she could make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? She'll make you a lot of money. Because she had like the light features and all.
Yeah, right. Because she's got this Negro woman body with these Edomite features, and that that's kind of that was a hot commodity, and it still is.
Yes, especially in Brazil.
It still is.
And matter of fact, during the Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament, you had a whole bunch of people from Brazil, and I saw people speaking Portuguese, and I turned around and looked, and he looked straight up white. I'm talking about blonde hair, blue eyes, and he got the cauliflower ears, and it's like, oh, and he just like, with Jake, Jake, we done mixed and blended because all the people, they were coming up to me, was like, I said you about Portuguese?
Yeah.
And like thinking I speak Portuguese like I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, nigga, I'm from the so like, but Brazil encompasses a north. Brazil encompasses the north and the south, northern and southern tribes.
I mean, look at Anderson Silva. The whole world knows who he is.
Yes.
If Anderson didn't open his mouth, you would think he was just another Negro walking down the street. Same thing with my man. What's my other man? Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Right? You know, that's right. If Yoel, you know, it's not until Yoel opens his mouth that you're like, damn, this nigga. Right. This is when, oh, you one of them type niggas. Right? You know? So, but looking at him, if he was standing around with a bunch of dudes from Inglewood, you wouldn't even, damn, look at that swole ass nigga over there with all the money.
Right.
That's it. Right.
It's just like that.
He the only one that ain't got dreads.
Right.
Swole as hell. He eating good. What this nigga doing?
I got a couple of them.
Go ahead, brother.
Were you finished with that, Shikari?
Yeah, no, he
Lahab was finna bring this out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 12:9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
There it is. A speckled bird, man. And all these systems that we're speaking about before Yah goes into what he's got, it all can be traced back to Esau, Edom. And it all can be traced back to Amalek. Because Amalek has always been running the show. Who do you think was behind the slave trade?
Yeah.
Who was behind that?
That's right. Hey,
The other Edomites have always been in line behind Amalek. All right?
the slave marts were closed, the so-called you wish you were
J-ish
us
holidays. On J-ish holidays, all the slave markets were closed. They weren't closed on Christian holidays, but on J-ish holidays. All right, so that in turn in itself is an evidence.
All right, that word speckled bird, and if you look at and you go Google speckled bird, it's a bird with variegated multicolors, and that's the Lord saying we were all, matter of fact, all creation was all varied colors from dark brown to light brown, except for Esau, Edom, and Moab and Ammon, who they were descendants of Lot, who committed incest with their father when Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Outside of that, every other race.
Moab and Ammon are just as dark as you are.
Well, no.
I've walked among them. I've been to their lands, man. And I'm telling you, in Thailand and Malaysia, in Japan, they are just as dark as Negroes. Okay? There's a lot of really dark people over there, man.
It is. All right, pull it up.
Yeah, they had a boxing champion from Ammon, and he was real dark skinned.
Yeah, so there's a lot of dark people over there, but the same thing is done. They're not promoted, they're not pushed. But if you're over there, you'll see them.
Hey, y'all, can I hit this real quick? This is based off what the elders were just saying. They didn't just do this in one place. This is worldwide, including China, Japan. They did this everywhere. And this is about what I mentioned earlier. This is called the whitening of Aborigines. I put it in order so anybody want to see it. It says refers to a racist colonial policy of assimilation and biological absorption, which aim to eliminate indigenous identity through policies like forced removal of children and intermarriage to breed out the color. This is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beards. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. They oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So this is part of Esau oppressing a person's heritage. They go into the lands, they do a lot of interracial breeding. All right, that's the whole American way.
Can I land back off you? This is 1 Maccabees 1. I'm going to read down to 3. And it happened after Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persian Medes, that he reigned in his stead, in his bloodline, in his sperm line, in his race, the first over Greece, because Greece was a chocolate swarthy people.
Yes.
All right.
And the
And
old
me-
pottery proves it.
Yeah, and there's too many relics to prove it. And made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through the ends of the earth, meaning all throughout Asia. It wasn't called Europe or the Middle East then. He went all throughout Asia and the northern parts of Africa, okay? And took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So he basically, that was just a lamb back off the scriptures that St. Benji read, all right? Because what he did when they went conquering, even though Esau is a great big old mo, he still was lightening up and raping, or graping the women,
Freaking everything.
all right? And even the men, so the Caligula showed you that. He raped a couple, the man and the wife.
And the horse.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the horse,
Yeah,
man.
damn.
Yeah.
Tie that horse down.
He said, come here.
Bend that woman and her husband over. Right. Damn, leave him there. Right. But that's what Esau was doing. And I keep saying I'm gonna have to go and find that book. I keep saying that. But I got a book at home that was given to me by a client many years ago. And it even goes into how the Grecians would literally rape men on the battlefield as they were dying. All right, they would take a man would go down in battle, and if you happen to be laying on your, you go down and you laying down, they will come and lift your garments and hump you. It's like damn nigga, I'm dying. Can I just die? You already lost the war.
And that's
But this is what they would do. This was white males, Edomite males. This is what they would do in battle. It's a part of their history, which goes into what we're talking about. All right, this is a shifting, the lineage of evil. All right, Shalom, mighty man. The lineage of evil, the shameful spirit. Somebody get that in Habakkuk. There's so much evidence coming out on them to they've successfully now taken away histories so that they can rewrite it and whitewash it, and make like the natives just had a great big old Thanksgiving party and had a good time.
Come on in.
With all the pilgrims and the so-called white folks, and now we built up America. All right, and then the Negroes came over on the ships as indentured slaves and helped us. And now we're all just one people. Amen. That's the bullshit, right?
Love it here.
So all the rape, robbery, so all the grape, the robbery, the murder, the land theft, the identity theft, all that's being pushed to the back burner so that little Timothy can can be feel good about his heritage and his history now.
I got scripture.
All right, go ahead, brother.
This is Job 31. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Don't even want among the animals. Didn't want to see right among the animals.
He would have done
Is your animal not safe?
and all those animals would have to be killed according to the law.
And that's why.
And I'm sorry, but Mr. Big's life is more valuable to me than an Edomite.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Exactly.
There was a fire, and Mr. Big was in danger, and the Edomites were in danger. I'm saving Mr. Big. I'm just saying.
You hear that, Mr. Biggs?
Right.
It's like, come on, Biggs, let's go. Right. Hey, I'll send somebody for you.
So it was
Talking to the other person.
so it wasn't by accident that Samuel told Saul when he was supposed to go against that Amalekite, what? Slay everything.
Right.
Include the animals. Agag. Right.
Because how the fuck a sea turtle get hurt?
Bro.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a thing?
Well, I not even thinking exactly.
How is that even a thing, man? Well, sea turtles have herpes.
We've seen videos of these females saying that they've been over to these
Dolphins.
dogs, horses, dolphins, all kinds of shit. This is Esau. That's their lineage. They're the basis of all creations.
He'll be right. In Europe, they got those brothels and they have all those dogs, goats.
goat brothels,
Yeah.
sheep brothels.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
disgusting.
I mean, what
Yeah,
the
matter of
fuck?
fact, if you search it, you can probably still find that picture if they haven't scrubbed it. It was of a, what do they call it? The bachelor party of Edomites that were at one of those sheep brothels. So, right, so that was his. What? So, yeah, we going to the sheep brothel. Yeah, this brother get married. What? Yeah, so that's what they did. So you have the whole bridal party, the grooms and his men, they all at a sheep brothel.
But Kalaki and Esau used to promote that shit on HBO. They have like look like cartoons, clapping sheep, and they raping sheep, man. Like,
Not cheeks, but sheep.
Yeah, so you know,
Sheep,
so they,
sheep.
and then, you know, I've heard the Edomites tell the jokes how they
video, remember the video you showed us?
they take their legs and stick it in their boots, so they can't run.
What?
Yeah, they stick it in their boots. Yeah. Because the animal naturally just want to like get the hell out of there. Right. Damn. Esau really be knocking boots. So, but this is a man that's in charge of the world.
Exactly.
This is a man that's claiming to be the people of the Lord.
This who
is a
runs
man
the
that's-
ice center.
This is a man to be claiming to be a Christian. All right. Bring it out, brother.
This is the book of Habakkuk 2 and 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also.
Read 15 first, Bible shot.
Habakkuk 2 and 15, it says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
That's what Esau did, man.
They created black culture.
That's right. Yeah.
They and connected to that, you know, the black gangster, the Hispanic gangster, all that is connected to a system that Esau Edom put in place. Right?
And they getting Esau made sure he got Jake, which is Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, especially Native American Indians, drunk, so they would get fucked up, and then they'll give them blankets of polio. They'll give them smallpox, no polio too, smallpox, polio, and all kind of shit. They put diseases in the shit and say, "Oh, you're cold. Here's a gift from me." And they get all comfortable.
Yeah, they were
like
using biological warfare even back then.
Come on, man. That's
They
Esau Edom,
killed off the food supply. So this genocide that's happening in Western Asia is nothing new.
Right.
Esau's going back to his old playbooks.
That's it.
All right. Okay, and Amalek. All right. Ezekiel 36 and 5. You can't get around that, man. All right, it's something that they try to get around because all these Bible scholars and people, they'll talk about Ezekiel 35, Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 38. They'll bring out all these scriptures, but never speak about Ezekiel 35. I mean 36.
Gotta go around.
All right,
There's nothing to see here.
Exactly. They won't even mention Ezekiel 36 chapter. All right, and then I'm talking about these rabbis who be condemning the Christians, but they won't touch Ezekiel 35th chapter, man. That's like, you know, how's it, kryptonite to Superman.
Hey, that's a major detour in the road.
Right.
Construction's here. Go that way.
Right.
Nothing to see here.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 16 says, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Right, and shameful spewing should be upon that glory. And that's what's happening. This is why they want to lock down the internet. Because everybody's putting them on blast. The whole world sees the genocide. Nobody's with it. I just watched a video where they had one of them UN councils with all the nations there. And it was like, who's against it? And the only person to raise their hands was America.
It was the U.S.
Meaning they were against stopping. All right.
No, they always.
Everybody else was for it.
Yeah.
And so it was an Edomite woman who rose her hand, man. She was representing America. And then they put the camera on it, and it was United States. All the other nations were not for it. So the whole world is not with this genocide that's happening in Western Asia.
Can I read this in the NLT?
Absolutely.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16 in the NLT. It says, but soon it will be your turn
to be disgraced. Come, drink, and be exposed. Drink from the cup of the Lord's judgment, and all your glory will be turned to shame.
So all that's not going to work because, you know, I personally believe this is why they haven't implemented the microchip. Because they know that once they do that, it's over. This is what they're literally holding back. They're trying to do everything to avoid this third world war while posturing for war. You know, they're still trying to avoid war. You got a room full of ops, all right? It's just a matter of time before somebody's still on somebody and they turn into a big ass war.
Nobody needs to get hurt.
It's the Most High, you know, that's dictating this through His prophecy. Man. It says how that the Lord of hosts mustereth the battle, man.
And he's tiptoeing. I think Esau Edom is tiptoeing at this point, man. But eventually, the Lord gonna make something happen. He's gonna force them.
He said he's gonna put hooks in their jaws.
He's gonna put hooks in their jaws. He's gonna force a situation where they can't avoid, and it keeps getting close. It keeps getting closer and closer. The Russians entered into NATO airspace just the other day, and they're like, well, what are you gonna do about it? And now America kind of got quiet. NATO got quiet. They didn't want to retaliate. Because they really don't want that smoke. They talk that shit like they want smoke, but they don't want that smoke.
He wants to control demolition. He wants to control the fall. He wants to control every aspect of his establishment of the so-called NWO.
And that's what and them demons have been lying to him, and them demons aren't helping him no more. Because the average Edomite, like I did a video on that the other day. That Psalm 73, there's not a covering on Esau anymore. Esau's getting caught up. He's going to jail. He's getting in trouble. He's having to pay bills now, you know, and he don't like it.
It was last week, no, that Poland found those Russian drones that Russia denied, and then Poland asked for to invoke Article 4, which is when they meet to decide whether to take action, because Article 5 of NATO is when they actually have to act on it. So wasn't in the last week that Poland, like the other said, he's a tiger king. He growls, but they don't really want that. They're not prepared for it. All right, they know these Russians are better prepared. All right, CNN, right? CNN, which is your cable news network, has already told you about the capacity of the Satan II, of these different missiles that have the capacity to hit Central America from Russia, man, being launched from Russia. Okay, so like the other said, now Esau is just like trying to prepare as he's telling you that there isn't gonna be war while he has his knife out, man. All right, but like Matthew, is it Mark, where it says a house divided, and it says what we go.
This Mark 3:25. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. If Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end.
That's right, man. So, hey, for a while, that NATO, that pact, it was good. Now all this division, what? Now they can't collectively rule because now they're butting heads, man. All right. And guess what? It says the Lord won't enter the strong man's house. Stay, he tie him up first.
Yep. It says verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Let's go. Amen. So this man,
it's strong man, it's Esau Edom, man. That's that devil, man. And that's why we need the Yahweh. We can't take him down. The Lord has to take him down.
It says, this is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Yes.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. They get ready to fight each other, city against city, Democrat versus Republican, MAGA versus MAGA. All right, America versus Canada. These Edomites are getting ready to go to war with each other, man. They literally about to pew each other, and they ain't gonna have no problem slaying you niggas when y'all in the way. All right, y'all just gonna be right. Then, matter of fact, they might stop fighting each other just when they see a bunch of niggas and spiggers over there. Right. It's like, wait a minute. Right.
Stop. That goes into second Ezra, 14th chapter. I mean the 15th chapter. I'm just get right to the point. But it says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. It's going to be mano y mano. It's not going to be so-called white versus just black, or just Mexican versus Puerto Rican, but it's going to be everybody against everybody. Black on black, white on white, white on Mexican, black on black, black on black. It's going to be all, it's going to be the WWF. Everybody are free for fucking all.
Right, and then these people have always been divided, man. I have so many books on the subject matter in the earlier part of the 19th century. And this is a book, this is the beloved Elder Bro ICR sent this to me earlier, man. And this is so heavy. And it's 17 of them. And this is the pages from a book, but I just screenshotted 8 of them. And I'd like to read these and share them with you. The scripture's gonna come. But it's a book that was done by Henry Ford in 1921. And Henry Ford was completely against it. Henry Ford, the Ford Motor Company, supported the Nazis. And he was against the J-ish. Something that America don't like to talk about. All right? And so I'm going to read why, because this is sort of, you're not going to get taught this in school, because the JS got control of everything, control of all the books and the textbooks, and they made sure information like this got buried. Right? But this is called JS Activities in the United States, Volume 2, the International J. All right? A second selection of articles from the Dearborn Independent. You need to hear this, bro. By Henry Ford. Published by the Dearborn Publishing Company, Dearborn, Michigan. All right? Contents. All right? And so it's got all these chapters. It said, and I'm going to just read, through them. It says, how the Jays in the U.S. conceal their strength. All right? That's page 7. Page 19. Jays testimonies on how Jays, are Jays a nation? They're not. They're part of the Edomite nation. That was page 19. Page 31. Jays versus the non-Jay in New York finance. Page 31. All right. The high and the low of JS money power. Page 43. Disraeli of America. I guess the word "dis" has been around a while, huh?
Right.
A J of superpower. Page 55. The scope of JS dictatorship in the U.S. Page 67. JS Copper Kings, Rich War Profits, 77. JS Control of American Theater, 89. The Rise of the First JS Theatrical Trust, page 100. How Jays capitalized on protests against Jays, page 108. The JS aspect of the movie problem, page 117. JS supremacy in motion picture world, 127. The casting couch. You know, that's why certain people get canceled if you say certain things and you can't make movies. All right. Okay. So it says rule of the JS Kalia grips New York, page 137.
Good.
The J-ish demand on rights in America, 149. All the lobbying. All these lobbying groups. Right. Okay? J-ish rights clash with American rights, 161. Americans, you no longer have rights. That's right. All right? Many of your states, I think 38 of them, you know, have to support the J-ish, or they can't get any funding for any catastrophes that might happen, all right, in their state.
It shows you who really controls you.
Exactly.
Even when you go into the umbrella companies and all that shit, some people sitting behind the scenes are that J word.
If you go to even BlackRock, they're on the Israeli stock market. And everything is about shit way above what you think you know. America is full of shit. They're only a patsy. They're only a front, according to behind the powers that be. That matter of fact, it's even in the old "Say Can You See?" It says You pledge allegiance to the flag and to the.
Not anymore, because they got the James flag up there now. In case you didn't know, they're flying in the classrooms. They started in Beverly Hills. Let me finish this, bro. Yeah, the J. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. They got flags now that have their star in with the American flag.
Oh,
all right, it says the J's rights to put studies out of schools. 174. What studies? Okay. Disraeli, British Premier, portrays the Jays. 186. Taft once tried to resist the Jays and failed. 197. When editors were independent of Jays, 210. Well, we know that's not the case anymore. All right, they control 100% the media. All right, why the Jays dislike Montague, the Montague report? Oh, I want to know what that is. 220. The Jays use peace conference to bind Poland. 232. The present status of the J is questioned. 244. And I mean, it just goes on. And let me read this one, and then I'll because that's enough. It said the distinctive character of the J does not arise solely from his religion. It is true that his race and religion is disably connected, but whatever be the cause of the junction of the race idea with the religion, is very certain that the religion alone does not constitute the people. A believer in the Jayish faith does not, by reason of that fact, become a J. On the other hand, however, a J by birth remains a J, even though he abjures his religion. Leo N. Levy, president of the B'nai B'rith, 1900 to 1904. So, look, Whoopi was right. All right, it's a religion. It's not a race. They're Edomites. Okay, and I've heard too many rabbis quote those words. All right, it tells you right here in the 19 Encyclopedia 1971, volume 10 and 20. The Edomite Jays began to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. That's their own source. From the Jewish 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia. Esau Edom is modern Jewry, volume 5, page 41. They are not Israel or Judah, and so the world knows this now. So to keep up all these pretenses, you know, you're just heritage thieves, you're identity thieves, and identity theft is a big crime in America. All right. But America has been hijacked and reigned in this, and that's probably more than likely why they killed Uncle Charlie. All right, because Uncle Charlie spoke against. Uncle Charlie wanted to bring out the Epstein files, and that's a no-no, because the Epstein files will contain all the blackmail evidence, how and why the lobby, why the J-ish have so much power over you Americans. Why everything is being taken from you, while their citizens get free school, free medical, all right, up to 30-some thousand in welfare, while Americans over here struggling, homeless. You can't. They're not taking care of the veterans, but the IDF veterans are being taken care of. Mm-hmm. All right, even the ones that are retired. Right. Okay, so. You're paying, and on top of the billions you give them for weapons so they can keep starting all these wars with all these other nations that your dumbasses have to pay for. Home of the bend over and take it. Right. You're not the home of the Braves. You're the home of the get on your knees and bend over. That's what the fuck you are, American.
Fact.
Kiss the right? Kiss the ring. Bow down. Netanyahu, walks in the room and they start playing West Coast Connection in this motherfucker. Right.
I got a person. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widow may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless," like he was saying. America is bent over because most of the poor is here, and who are most of the poor? The Israelites. And they take away the rights from us, and then they put their own bullshit and their laws to control the narrative anyway. You know, so they just push it on you and just say, "Hey, deal with it." You know, and that's just what it is. You know, that's how Esau works.
I got one real quick. It's Wisdom of Solomon 2:10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
You know what? Can I land back you, brother? Let me bring this out. This is Sirach 13:3. The rich man have done wrong, yet he threatened withal. The poor man is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. So he'll use the fuck out of you, all right, and misuse you and do you wrong and not give a damn.
No mercy.
No mercy.
This is scathing. This is scathing.
Bring it out, brother.
Yeah, this Canasta found it.
I put in our Israelis, the Israelites of the Bible. It says,
Is
no.
this AI?
This is AI.
So AI has continually said that. The world knows it, man.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you crackers and you damn so-called Christians? Oh, but you know what it is? It's because it's to defend Edomite superiority.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down
Yep.
to.
Yep.
All right? But go ahead, brother.
It said, I put in our Israelis, the Israelites of the Bible, and it says, no, Israelis are not the same as the biblical Israelites. And that was just highlighted right there.
Right.
Short and simple.
Hey,
Keep reading.
Oh, keep it. All right. It says, though there is a direct.
Screenshot that and put it in orders so everybody can have it.
It says, though there is a direct lineage, Israeli is a national citizenship for the martyr state of Israel.
So you know what? Let me read those again, and then you continue. Esau Edom is modern Jewry, 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia, Volume 5, page 41. They are not Israel or Judah. The Edomites began to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860. Encyclopedia Judaica, 1971, Volume 10, 23. Continue.
You can't erase it.
It says,
You want me to
What
post
you
it?
just read? That's a cut like a
Let me send it to my phone.
I'm just sending it right to you, bro.
Go ahead, read.
it says, though there is a direct lineage, Israeli is a national citizenship for the martyr state of Israel, which
For the modern what?
it says martyr state of Israel.
Oh, so those people there now, this is what this is. Go ahead.
Which includes many ethnic and religious groups, while Israelite refers to the ancient people who descended from Jacob and are described in the Bible. Modern Israelis are not the sole descendants of the ancient Israelites.
And they're not the descendants at all. They're related to them through, but they're not the people,
Right.
because they are the sons and daughters of Jacob's brother. So the truth be said, that's the craziest thing when you think about it. The Negro, Latino, and Native American, our biggest enemy is our closest relative on this planet.
Right.
That's the sad part. The Edomites, the so-called white man, is literally our brothers, man. They are our people, but look what they do. They're the evil twin.
Which proves they the seed of Cain reincarnated.
There it
They're
is.
the wicked one.
They're the wicked one.
Clean contrary.
Okay.
When the Lord said clean contrary, that's mean 100% opposite. We're for righteousness, they're for wickedness. We're for this, that's in a righteous way, they're there for the wickedness.
And they have no problem murdering and mistreating their own brother. None whatsoever.
Let me finish this.
It says, who were a single tribal confederation during biblical times, and the term Israelite is now considered obsolete.
Oh, hey, go to the replacement there.
We,
I got a scripture for that.
it's obsolete now.
Ecclesiastes.
Send that to my other phone.
Ecclesiastes
Not the
4:16.
main one.
There is no end of all the people, even of all
I'll line that right
that
up.
have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vexation and vanity and vexation of spirit. So the scripture said there's no end of people.
So how you gonna obsolete a people when it says there's no end of people?
Yeah, and within Christianism, that the false religion of Christianism, that Bo Cat Malone is a part of, they very comfortably taught that lie that the Edomites were done away with without any receipts, any evidence. All right, and there's no right, just like this imaginary land bridge that we supposedly came across. Right, that has. Right, when you had, millions and millions of people came across, but yet there's no bones, no evidence, nothing, So old people, pregnant women, little children was gonna make it.
Right. They supposedly crossed during the Ice Age when it was cold as fuck. Niggas could barely make it in Chicago. When the Ice Age
Look, brother, the strait that they supposedly crossed, all right, is 53 miles long. 53 miles and 30, 40 below zero with God knows how the 100-mile-per-hour winds with nothing to eat. You're probably getting hunted by fucking wolves and fucking polar bears. How are millions of people gonna make that? And so it would be body after, it would be thousands of bones and relics. Nothing. It would be thousands of bones, relics, tools.
We ain't never seen the Bering Strait. We ain't never even seen it.
That's why Revelation 12 proves that the Romans are the old serpent. All right, and what did the old serpent have, man? The tree of knowledge of good and evil, lies mixed with truth. Right. So he told you from the continent.
He told you from Asia.
Right.
And you are.
But then he gave you a lie on how you got here, so you don't know who you really are.
Right.
But then in 1492, in the Christopher Columbus movie, it tells you how you got here because he used Esdras as a reference.
He even talked about them coming down around Africa, just like the Bible says.
Yep. I wish I could remember the name of it's a wind cycle that blows, and in the current it would bring them around that horn.
Right.
There's an actual wind cycle.
Yeah.
I wish I remember the fucking name of it. And I've been trying to remember it for years. But it's actual
and I know what you're talking about, brother.
And it brings them down that horn, and
it takes you right over to Brazil and to the islands there, because there's a similar current that leaves Japan that will bring you right to the west coast of America. If you got on a boat with no control, all right, literally within about 30 to 35 days, within a month's time, you'll end up on the west coast. You'll end up either in Oregon or California.
And that mirrors
right?
2nd Ezra 13th chapter when it says he stilled the waters for them to come over.
There it is.
The Lord didn't want to do, because I've seen pictures of ocean waters, and like if you don't got the power of the Lord, you're not.
Terrible.
The Lord had to stay the floods for them to come over. The Lord did that. The Lord had them on the other side for what they did to when He opened it up to when they did, even to the times of Hiram and the navy of Solomon to coming over here. The Lord set all that up. Esau's technology and Esau's recounting is all just, like you said, futile. He just makes shit, pull shit up and make it up out of his ass. There's no truth. It's not backed up with any facts, any evidences or anything.
Especially with science, That's
what he love playing with numbers too.
That hypothesis shit. Let's talk about educated
12%, 13%, 90%. He just comes up with numbers, man. This nigga, what really be going is what you can't see on camera. This nigga rolling the dice. Whatever the number pop up, 70%.
What he said? The Earth weighed like 1 billion pounds. Like what? How you know what the Earth weighed?
Because they took the nigga
they
from
put it
Greece.
on the scale.
They put the Earth on the scale. It weighed about 1 billion pounds.
Can we read the scripture?
Absolutely, brother.
This is Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right. Who's the hidden ones? The same people that you made obsolete. Right? AI already said what it said. All right? History says what it says. Although you change it, we know we the Israelites. Because the scriptures say we will forget and lose everything. Apparently y'all just been remembering y'all was Israelis forever. Right? Go ahead.
And that's not scriptural.
It's not.
All right, and then read that again, what you just read, brother.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Part of that counsel was the pseudoscience. All right, can somebody get 1 Timothy, and then you got it again, brother. Get that 1 Timothy 6:20. That was part of that counsel, man. Just coming up with this false science and fake numbers. Like I said, he's on camera, he rolling dice, and whatever. just to continue his conversation in the interview, whatever number roll up, he just spew that shit out. Man.
There's a show, and I recommend brothers watch it. It's called Patterns of Evidence, Exodus, and it goes into the Exodus, right? And it shows the timeline and it proves the scriptures. And when it even talks about how, of course, we read Exodus, says the city of Ramses, but it only calls the city of Ramses because this is somebody giving historical account looking back. Like when you read Judges, it calls the land Jerusalem, Jerusalem, even though it wasn't called Jerusalem yet.
Yeah.
So when they say city of Ramses, Esau went and said, well, this happened during the time of Ramses. Now, Patterns of Evidence goes to the history, and they give an accurate account of when it really happened. And they said the reason why Esau hasn't changed it is because they have to admit they were wrong. So people go to this prove the Bible and say this happened during Ramses, X, Y, Z. They know that when it happened, but they won't change it publicly because now they got to say they're wrong. It's a raw ass documentary, and it's straight.
Did you put it in
straight evidence.
Cut them.
Info.
No.
Did you do a lesson on that?
I didn't put it in there.
Did you do a lesson on it yet?
A long time ago.
Okay, I might have to watch it and do a lesson on it.
I got the first Timothy.
That's right up my alley.
Shannon Sharp voice.
I hope you know he playing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he most definitely playing. It's like it.
Go ahead. Whoever
First Timothy chapter 6 and 20. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, and avoid profane and vain babblings, and oppositions of science falsely so called."
Falsely so called.
Yeah.
Pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience. So they just make up shit, and, you know, and then they label it science, and then they just and then you know, foolish, unlearned, and unspiritual people just believe it. Take it. Just like, for example, you know, this is out now because I mean, ain't no more hiding it, man. Let me see if I have it. Damn, it might be in that phone. So I can't quote it verbatim. Oh, I do have it. All right. Horrifying new study. This was on Joe Rogan's show, podcast. This was the series, and if I have the recording, I play it. I probably do have it. But it says when he says it, a horrifying new study finds that the CVID shots have now killed more Americans than World War I, World War II, and Vietnam combined.
Damn.
People are still dying from that shit. Not the C thing, but the injection.
The booster.
All right. And yet they still want to try to control and push. They still try to push that shit.
Yep.
You notice they've been kind of quiet about it as of lately. Maybe it's because of this study. I haven't heard as much as you know.
Right.
But for anybody to fix their lips and suggest that anybody should take this with this sort of evidence out there now. It says Pfizer alone likely unalived. All right. And yeah, and so this was broadcast live on Joe Rogan's show. And it has all the, you know, the numbers and all that stuff. So it's not, so you know, this is not something that I just came up with. But his tongue is falling upon himself, man.
Motherfuckers was deemed demons and what do they say?
You're a hater of science.
What's the term?
You're un-American.
When you post something, a disclaimer, it was false.
Misinformation. Yes, and they will delete your
false.
channel, delete your videos, strike you, all that.
But now it's being proven.
And the truth of the matter is the people in power are the ones who put up the disinformation. It's called propaganda. All right. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation," which they did. What we become? Bywords and proverbs, which connects with the prophecies. All right.
When it does happen, the issues that never happened. They never became a bad word or a saying. Probably never happened.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And the actual name Yahshua Allah is really known amongst us. It ain't a worldwide known name.
Right? Yeah, I didn't even know the phrase Israelites until I came into the truth.
That's true. Oh, well, you know what? Here's that flag. I just found it. BB gave a speech to them 250 Americans that went over there and bent over and took the knee. But it's called. It says this is real. Keep an eye out for the logo on the far left. All right, and it's showing you that flag, and it says the 50 states, one Israel, and it's combined their flag with the United States flag. They're not even pretending anymore. 250 American lawmakers traveled to Israel for 50 states, one Israel event. All right, all lobbyists that went over there and and got on their knees, bent over.
But what about all these Americans upset that they're flying another country's flag? Like when they see the Mexicans or the Palestinians, how dare you wave another non-American flag in America? Meanwhile, in these courthouses, in the Senate, in the White House, you have the, like you said, the ISIS flag all over everywhere.
Most Christians, American Christians, a lot of them, I should say, believe that the J-ish are
About half
chosen
of them.
people.
About half of them, and they have a false that doctrine that they must support them, even though we know that they're unethical and they do things wrong. We still have to support them. No, it's all about white superiority. They know that those are not the people.
Yeah, only really the young Edomites really are the main ones. It's a few older ones. They're really the only ones that's mad about the Palestine shit.
Well, no, look, what's his name? Ford and all them Christians from that era.
Oh yeah, Henry
they
Ford.
knew.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
so it's
so
believe me, it's about half and half. All of them Bible Belt. Well, I won't say all of them, but a good portion of them good old boy Bible Belts. They ain't with the J-ish, and then you got them ones that do. So they divided. Esau's divided, because you got you, and then the rabbis are constantly shitting on Christianity.
Well, for the
constantly.
Henry Ford apologized because he got hit with lawsuits and shit. Yeah. So eventually, over a period of time, all these Edomites bowed. These new Edomites.
He didn't get it this because enough people didn't stand with him.
Right.
And we know it's prophecy. You know, Amalek had to get into their position.
Right.
You know.
Damn. Free, right? I forgot the point.
We was talking about the Christians.
Oh yeah, they it's the young Edomites. They really against Palestine. These older ones like even Charlie, whatever the nigga, Charlie Chocolate Factory. All right, that nigga was calling them casualties of war. He defended that shit at one point. All the Palestinians that gotta go or this and that, these are called casualties of war to most of the Edomites. Until they realized that the J-ish are the ones fucking your precious country up. Right. That was Henry Ford's whole point. I had this put up. It's pretty. Circle back around. One of the things Henry Ford just a summary from AI. AI summarized some of Henry Ford's shit, and this is one of them. This is Henry Ford. It says he said he blamed the Jays for society's problem in his writings and statements. Ford accused Jays of causing a wider. Somebody pull that video up I posted in the Bishop's room. This is going to come out of Paul Heyman's mouth, a famous Jayish manager for wrestlers. All right. It says in his writings and statements, Ford accused Jays of causing a wide array of societal problems, including financial hardships, wars, and moral decline. For example, he blamed J-ish financiers for starting World War I for their own profit. Now, if you watch the old Rothschild movie, it shows how during Napoleon, they funded both sides of Napoleon and France, and then even lied to say, oh, Napoleon got the advantage, so the stocks would drop. And they could get...
That's how they got wealthy.
Not even the stocks, just so... it looks like France is going to fall, so they can buy more of French interest, and then of course when France won, they bought the shit for cheap. And then they shit rise back up. You gotta understand, Napoleon got exiled, came out of exile, got right back to war. How did he get funded for this? And then on that, the Louisiana Purchase happened because Napoleon was the nigga that owned the land, the French nigga that owned the land here in America. So when he was going through it, the Louisiana Purchase happened. Who financed? Who do you think did this? That's why the Bible calls America Babylon, the beauty of the Chaldees. The Chaldees were the wise men of ancient Babylon. All right, America was set up by the modern day Chaldeans. That's why the White House, when you look at George Washington and he's on top of the Mason pattern, this shit was set up to be what it is. This didn't just happen. It was always set up to be like this. All right? That rich Amalek Edomites was the ones that puppet this damn place, man. All right, and Paul Heyman even confirms this, man. So Henry Ford, just like the very famous Austrian painter with the weird mustache, said that the Jays are the problem with society. They brought all the debauchery. The first building that man attacked back during the WW2 was the building for transgenders, for homosexuals, man. All right. And look how this shit advanced now. He said it, and now look, they every fucking what? All these, you can be a fucking 12-year-old and get your dick turned into the inside-out shotgun when Bugs Bunny put a carrot in it, man, and explode. Now you can get your dick inverted, man. This shit weird. And who set this up? The Jays, man.
Wow.
That shit,
You
wow.
got that video on good?
I got it.
In the bitch's room?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, you loud. You play it. Turn it up. Yo, that's that galaxy, man. That shit weak.
No, you know, send it to my phone, brother.
I'll play it on my phone. Let me show you.
This ain't no galaxy.
I have to turn mine
That's as
down.
loud as it gets.
Yeah, this not a
Mine
galaxy.
gets
This a
loud,
weak
bro.
phone. This a
That's
government.
why I know it ain't galaxy.
No, it ain't a galaxy. It's a government phone.
Turn the fan off. Mine gets louder than that, bro.
Oh, that's that iPhone.
Don't get louder.
Oh, damn.
It's the fan no and
Turn that fan off.
Don't get louder than that.
Let me restart.
Yeah, forget your galaxy, Elder. Yeah.
Everybody talk. Everybody can't hear it.
Yeah.
Send it to me, brother.
It's in the bitch's room.
I can't get to it.
I got you. I'll send it to you.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to get to this motherfucker acting a fool right
Yeah,
now.
my phone definitely gets louder than that, brother.
Oh, yeah.
It's the.
But go ahead, play it.
I
Still send it to me because I might use it later.
Then I can't hear it. I can put it over the
Okay.
Everybody gonna be quiet as soon as we put it.
Right. Oh, there's no shit. Everybody probably shut the hell up.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Oh, that was funny.
Is that the one who sent it? Did you send?
Man, I sent his phone.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Which one is that? The one on Reddit?
Yeah.
All right. Because I got the.
Yeah.
I did ask you to pull it up 10 minutes
Okay.
ago.
I've been trying.
You got the galaxy computer? Go ahead.
Oh snap! It's actually. It's also.
I'm pretty sure that's a MacBook he got.
It is a MacBook.
Yeah, the Michael Jordan MacBook? Okay.
Yeah. But it's connected to a Galaxy speaker.
Stop.
Wow, just a statement, man. That's heavy.
We'll read this while this is.
That don't make sense.
Why you doing that, little brother?
A Galaxy speaker. That's some boomer shit, man.
Yeah, this video just isn't that loud. Cause it's about the same on
The
mine.
best generation.
Normally, this phone gets ridiculously loud.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. You know, my phone way louder than this. The video is just low.
I said the video was low, but nobody wanted to listen because my phone is the loudest.
And then this is not working.
It just came.
They got no speaker.
It's
Huh?
No, it's a low recording because my phone gets ridiculously
But my
loud.
phone was louder than yours, though.
It was the.
Even on the low recording.
It was.
iPhone 16 for the win. Specs.
That must be a LeBron phone.
Well, mine.
The GOAT.
Why you get him started?
Go ahead, play it, brother. We want to hear it. So
This is bullshit because
this is just buffering.
For the record, this is an iPhone.
I'm a Jew, and my people, we're not hunters, and my people, we're not hunters, you know?
He got it. He got it.
You know? I mean, see, the whole crew's laughing now about that.
Start up. Let me start over.
Okay, now. Okay, so
About that.
You want me to?
See, because it's the buffered. I don't know.
Especially the guy over there who's Jewish, because he knows. Because, you know, it's like, I can't kill the thing, but I can make you a nice lapel out of it.
It was already loud, brother. Just let it play.
Diamonds as well. How y'all in? As you would say, diamonds, furs, movie business. What's the deal here? Monopoly? What? 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 My people. My people. Well, we own everything. I know the media. How is that?
Well, because we're the smart people. We're the Jews. You know, I mean, we screwed up in the Middle East. You know, I mean, we did. I mean, I can speak about this because I mean, we're supposed to be the chosen people, and here we, you know, and here we pick the only piece of land in the Middle East that has no oil on it. Everything we have is sand and the Mediterranean Sea, which for generations people have been trying to push us out into. You know, every Jewish holiday is the same thing. They tried to kill us and we're still alive. So, I mean, you know.
Hey, I gotta ask you.
So hunting's kind of out of the question for us.
You know? got an open invite anytime you want to come down.
In case anybody in the WWE network has always wanted to know that, you know, Jewish history is told by Paul Heyman. You've now been educated about as far as I'm willing to take you.
But let me.
So he's not going to tell you much more, but he did tell you that the Jays own everything. They control the media. He did say that.
It also proves that they're not the real Jays because the land don't yield its increase to them.
Right.
All right. You said
they're not fitting the prophecy. They're fitting the prophecy of Ezekiel 36 chapter. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and get that and get ready to wrap it because we done pretty much nailed it. Yeah.
I have one real quick.
Bring it out, brother. If any brother got anything, bring it out. We're gonna finish with that Ezekiel 36 chapter. The chapter that they love to avoid.
This Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall.
And that's what's happening, and we're seeing that fall, man. Hence the reason why they're so desperate to pass all these laws to shut everybody up and quiet and silence everyone. Because it's not just the Israelites, it's not just the Hebrews that are coming against them now. The whole world is. All nations are pointing the finger at them. They're being narrowly looked at. All right.
See what happened in the UN? They judged that the Israelis were guilty of genocide.
Oh yeah, unanimously.
Yep.
All right, and the World Forum? No, not the World Forum, but I forget the name of that court now. International, whatever it is.
IJ something.
They got found to be guilty of crimes against humanity, and matter of fact, BB Benjamin Netanyahu, not a J, is Milkowski. Yeah, he's a wanted criminal now. Just like your president is a real ninja now because he's like what 34 convictions or some shit.
Yeah, straight stuff.
So he rolling down the street in his 6'4". But
Ezekiel 36.
Anybody got another scripture?
I had a quick one.
Bring it out, bro.
This is Micah 2:1. It says,
32
woe.
and 35.
It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work of evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because in the power of their hand. Like y'all been saying, they been doing all of this wickedness and setting it up, and now it's backfiring on them because everybody's starting to see who the evil is and who the wicked.
Well, the scriptures are coming to pass, man. That Jeremiah 40:49 on the ass. They exposed. And they skirt lifting, their little meat is out. He been lying about what he was packing. And somebody called his bluff. So there you go, man. Go ahead, brother.
So this is Ezekiel.
Go ahead, brother.
Ezekiel 36 and 32. It says, "Not for your sakes do I this, saith the Lord power. Be it known unto you. Be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord power. In the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be built, and the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate."
Brother, what you reading?
Ezekiel 36.
Okay, come.
And you said start at 32.
No,
he wanted 2
and 5.
Oh, okay. So Ezekiel 36, chapter 2. I mean, chapter 36, verse 2. This is verse 2. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy hath said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are in our possession. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side. They that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord power. Thus saith the Lord power to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which are become prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Thus,
so fuck Palestine too, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually, the scriptures clearly say if there's death in the city, you know, roughly paraphrased, had the Lord not done it, you know, people forget about the Arab slave trade.
Yeah.
And Ishmael had a big role in that.
Yeah.
So there, you know,
I just saw an article showing the abid, which goes back to the Hebrew word ibad, which goes back to slave, that they have a whole section of Palestine right now that still got a whole bunch of slave descendants that's a Jake over there in Palestine, and so fuck all the motherfuckers, man.
I mean, they fighting over our land.
Exactly.
Shit. That's
Con-
y'all
con-
shit.
Verse 5.
Assholes.
It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumia, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for prey.
Salaki, and all Idumia is guilty of this, even though it's just Amalek that's in the land. All you Idumeans came together to make this happen. Right after World War II, y'all made sure they was able to get that land.
They're all guilty.
All right, y'all, especially America, and even his allies at one point, y'all helped get weaponry to this people. Y'all established them as this land. All right, so y'all in this shit with them. If Israel go to war, y'all gonna go to war with them.
Yep.
Y'all backing them, getting Jerusalem and making this land expand.
Right. And now
Trump double down on it.
Now they
times.
gonna get slaughtered with them. Is there some more to that? Oh,
No.
okay. So let me one more precept, man. 2 Ezra 6:18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and visit them that dwell upon the earth. And I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So our affliction is over, and the Lord is about to put a hurt on Amalek and the rest of Idumea.
Hallelujah.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash,
Kwam Yasharallah,
Kwam Yasharallah,
Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.